ready to go. Shania's almost there. I'm waiting for you, Muhammad, to clear your desk. Connie, I need you to clear your desk. That should be off your desk, Morgan.
My friend.
Moses,
filming.
off your desk.
Clear your desk, my friend.
All right, so shouldn't be able, I should only be able to hear it in the dark right now, so I don't want. When I pass these papers, I'm passing out dirt quizzes face down. So you're passing them back face down. Then you're waiting for instructions. You're at a voice level 0. Face down. You're at voice level 0 still. Put it on second. Alright, you guys can flip it over. Put your name, date, homeroom on the top. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to answer those 2 questions. Voice level 0. If you finish, you can rip your dirt quiz off and turn it over. Let's use complete sentences for that first question. You see, you guys just write 2 words. Let's use some complete sentences. That second page is the exit ticket, so you're only focused on the dirt quiz, that 1 page. When you're done, you're ripping it off and turning it over. Sean's done, Brooklyn's done. You guys have about 40 more seconds, just over 40 seconds. Make sure your name, date, homeroom is on the top. Have about 10 more seconds. When the timer goes off, I need you to track me at a voice level 0. Alright, so Moses, thank you. You're tracking me at voice level 0. Brooklyn, so those are 2 positives for you guys. General, thank you. Muhammad. you guys to pass your nerd quizzes forward. Thank you, Moses. Voice level 0. Really great job in JCU. So, last week we were talking about, remember when August cut his braid off? We talked a lot about why he did that, his perspective on it, his point of view, and like what led him to that decision. Thank you. Today we're going to talk about the same event, but this time we're going to talk about it from Via's point of view. Via, because she feels a certain way about August, and she has a certain kind of relationship with him, she's going to feel a little differently than how August feels about cutting his braid off. Can someone remind me how August felt when he did that, or why he did it? Go ahead, Brianne.
I think August felt sad and mad because he been growing that hair with his best friend, and he really didn't like to get bullied because they wouldn't like to get bullied if they had the same face or the same disease that he had.
So that's all true. I have one more question though. So how did he respond to cutting his braid off? What did he do when he did that? Go ahead, Moses.
Well, he was trying to be alright with it, but on the inside he was really hurt because the only reason he did this is because people were worried about he thought people were gonna make fun of his braid because Julian made a joke about Souls, about dark cities, because he was deformed and looked like August.
Right, thank you, Moses. Brooklyn wants to use some habits of discussion to build on that. Go ahead.
I would like to simply build onto you. And I wanted to say that
Somebody, hold on. You guys need to pay attention to the speaker.
he was like acted like everything, and he told his sisters and dad that they weren't friends anymore, and they were like, you should have called him or should have. And he was acting like nothing really happened, but it was all Julie's fault because he said he was making fun of him, he was asking why he had it. And August was irritated.
Right, so we know August gets made fun of in school. He gets so upset that he goes home. He cuts the braid off that he's been growing for 2 years. It was very important to him, obviously, if he's been growing it for that long. He really likes Star Wars. It's a Star Wars reference. He cuts it off. And then when his parents are asking him, he's kind of like nonchalant. He's like, well, I don't really want to talk about it. He doesn't say that, but those are his actions. He kind of just like blows them off. Like he doesn't want to talk to his parents about it, doesn't want to talk to Via about it. He kind of snaps at Via. Remember when we talked about that last week? He's like, I'm not friends with Christopher. Remember? Okay, so today now we're going to hear Via's side of it. And again, why are these things important? It's important because we're always trying to feel the way other people feel. Like if you put yourself in their shoes, then you're able to understand them better. So one thing might happen between you and another student or at home with your brother or sister or whoever, and there's two sides to that story. But how that person feels, how you feel, you guys have to try to come together and understand one another, and that's the only way that you can come to a resolution or a solution to whatever it is that's happening. So when Via feels, we're going to read about how Via feels. We know how August felt, and we're going to see how that might be similar, how that might be different, and how they understand one another. We're going to look at their relationship. Her point of view is going to be very important to today's lesson. So the first thing I need you to do is take your book out and turn to page 97. If you don't have your book, I don't have any more, so you can share with whoever you're taking with. Exit ticket. There's our question on there, our prompt for today is on there. I need somebody, can you read that for us? What? Exit ticket, come on.
Via also describes when August called fifth grade. How does she describe this event? How does her POV, a point of view, affect how she describes this event?
So what would we need to know in order to answer that question for that prompt? Valerie first.
We would need to know how she felt about when August cut his ring off.
So we need to know how she feels. What else might we need to know? Yes, there's on the back of your exit ticket, there's a section you can take some notes, or you can put it right in your book, whatever you need.
What else do you need to know is how does the
Right, that's what we need to know, but how do we know that? How do we discover her point of view, Muhammad?
We need to know how she reacts.
Right? Maybe how she responds to things or reacts. So we'll put that reacts / responds. What else might we need to know? Stephanie, try it again. Right, what she does. So how she feels, how she reacts or responds, her actions or what she does. Right. What she does. There's one more thing that you might need to know to answer this question. Someone else. Somebody try it.
Supposed to know how does her point of view affect how she describes it?
But what do you have to do to figure out her point of view? Go ahead, Brooklyn.
I think, what else we need to know is like,
How do you answer the question? Not with what?
we also need to know,
Thank you.
we also need to know, about not, like, how
One more
her
thing.
expressions.
It might be her expression, but there's one more thing that I'm looking for. Somebody try again.
What's the best thing I
To understand her point of view, we need to know how she feels, how she might react or respond to a situation or an event, what she does. There's one more thing we need to know, Ryan. What she thinks? Oh, okay, there's one more after that. What she thinks? One more. Muhammad.
Whether she likes it or not.
No, one more. Go ahead, Jalen.
What does she feel?
We have it already. what her point of view is. Yeah, response might, well, you can have an action to respond to something, like you might not talk at all, so that might not be saying anything. She might ignore something, and that's how she responds to it, so you gotta be careful about that. So this is what we need to know in order to answer the prompt. We need to know how Via feels, what she does, what she thinks, what she says, how she reacts to situations or responds to them. So now I need you guys at a voice level 0 to read page 97. As you're reading, think about that. How does she feel? What does she do? Think? What does she say? And annotate for that. Make sure you make some marginal notes if you need to. You should be doing that. Okay with that? Yes, Ruby? Yep, 97. So Rihanna, your book should be open. Thank you, General, you already started. Mose already started.
Page 96.
Yes. Deshaun, you can share with Muhammad. Or General. Thank you, Muhammad. You're okay, Muhammad. Thank you so much. So page 97. Just about 30 more seconds. Ruth is making her marginal notes, which you all should be doing. When the timer goes off, I need you to track me at a voice level 0. Your voice level is spot on today, and JCU, I need your head up, General. Thank you. Stephanie, I need your head up. I'm waiting for some eyes to track me. So thank you, Valerie. Moses, perfect. You're perfect. Thank you, General. The next thing I need you guys to do is just turn and talk to your partner for a minute about what Via felt, what she might have said. That is going to help us answer our exit ticket question later. It depends. It's your All right, you guys. So even if you're underlining in your text things that Via might have felt, responded to, something she did, something she thinks or says, I need you to also write that as a marginal note. So what do those marginal notes look like? Ruth, can I borrow your book for 2 seconds? I'm going to show you guys some marginal notes. Okay. So when Ruth finds something that's important to the question that I may have asked, she writes in the margins basically. So Via can't believe Augie that he cut his braid. She's jotting down things that are going to help her remember what the page is about, and that's what you guys need to be doing also in your book. So next time you revisit this, you don't necessarily have to read through the entire thing. Morgan has it also, I see. You just have to skim through your notes, and then you would understand what that page is about. And that's what's important, because you're going to need that skill for a really long time. Throughout college, when you're an adult. Mohammed, please lift your head up. So I need you guys to make marginal notes in your book that help to tell what that page or that paragraph might be about. Does that make sense to you guys? I need a thumbs up if that's a yes. So Valerie says yes, Daquan yes, Deshaun. Thank you. Well, Ryan, is that a yes? Okay, great. General, you understand that? Marginal notes, you need them? Okay. Janaya? Marginal notes? I see Moses is already putting some in there. All right, you guys. So let's see. Moses, what did you annotate? What did you learn about how Via feels or what she does, thinks, or says?
In her mind, she thinks about always cutting her day, but in her mind, but she thought like in the section where Star Wars was very
Hold on. You should be facing forward. You're listening to what Moses has to say, because like I said in the beginning, I want you guys to start having dialogue with one another. You're responding to one another. I'm not interrupting or repeating anymore. You guys are talking directly to each other. So Brooklyn is tracking Moses, which is perfect. I need you all to track and listen. Go ahead, Moses.
I forgot.
No, you got it. Come on.
She thinks about the Star Wars obsession. She thinks it's very geeky, and she thought that when it came on the back of his head, that was great. She thought it was awful.
That it was what? That it was what?
Very awful.
Savani, the pen. You want me to take the pen?
She thought of his discussion of Star Wars that it was very geeky, and she thought that little braid on the back of his head was very
It was awful. Where does it say that?
It says Star Wars kind of geeky and the braid in the back braid. And it said what a little scene was just awful.
Okay, so she always found his obsession with everything of Star Wars kind of geeky, and that braid in the back of his hair with the little beads is just awful. But continue. What else does she say about that? Because I don't think that's the most important part about it.
But he was always so proud of it.
Right. That's what's important with that whole paragraph. He had always been so proud of it. How long it took him to grow it, and how he chose those beads himself in a craft store in Selma. What do those few lines mean? Uzier, tell me.
Those few lines mean that it means that he cut his braid, but he really didn't want to, but he had to because he knew he was going to keep messing with him.
So that's true, but what does it
this is why when he cuts it off, she gets kind of like mad because she always wants to know what's up with Augie because she know that Augie really cut it off for a reason.
And I agree with that. Does anyone want to build on the honest answer using habits of discussion? Go ahead, Dan.
I would respect like to build onto you. When August cut his braid, he kind of felt kind of sad because Christopher and August was growing their braid at the same time. And I think that if Via didn't say anything, well, in Via's mind, I think Via said that it was not a good idea to take him to school because we know that he was diagnosed with something and people might make fun of him or something.
That's possible. Brooklyn wants to build on that using habits of
I
discussion.
want to respectfully feel on you. I also wanted to
Stay certain.
I also wanted to say that, like, she was really disappointed, and it says, you should have told me beforehand, and, he was, like, really trying to get it off. He was, like, really trying to, like, put it in, and he was very sad about it because he didn't want to let his expressions out, or he didn't want to tell him.
Brianne, she's responding to you, so you should be listening in case you want to respond back. That's the point of dialogue, and I need all of you to be participating and engaged like that. You need to listen so you can also add to the conversation.
And like he was really sad about it, but he didn't want to tell what happened because then he's saying like I think he said in the beginning of the story, his mother was like not crazy, but like she would be really mad or she would go to school and like he just
That's good, Brooklyn. So I want to focus on what Brooklyn has annotated, this part here. So he cut his braid off without an explanation, without telling me beforehand, which was surprising, or even calling Christopher. Sophia's so upset she can't even explain why. But what does this part say here? Without telling me beforehand, which was surprising. What does that say about Via and Augie's relationship? Go ahead, Valerie.
So the relationship between August and Via is that it's like they're very close and like they're very close with a friendly relationship. So even if August didn't tell Via's really surprised and shocked.
Right, but so what does it mean? If she's shocked about it, it's because normally, what do? Go ahead, Brianna. They do connect to one another, but it's out of the norm. She's surprised because what he did is out of the norm. What is it that he did that's not part of the norm, or is unusual? Jada. Yes, cut off his braid, but what else about that is underlined for you guys? Come on. Go ahead, Valerie, continue.
Not calling Christopher.
Oh, we're talking about Via in August. Go ahead, Zakaya.
What's out of the norm about that is he didn't tell Via ahead of time.
Yes, exactly. So if they're so close and they share everything with each other, they have a strong bond, they understand one another, they're connected. Put yourself in Via's shoes. You have a best friend, or you have a sibling, or somebody that you share everything with. You tell them all your secrets. You tell them so much stuff. And then all of a sudden, they decide they're not going to tell you that they're switching schools or that they're dating someone that you know. Something's going on there where you might feel a certain kind of way. How would you feel, Brooklyn?
I would feel sad. Like I would feel sad because me and my sister would always tell each other stuff, and if she was telling somebody else and never told me, I would be sad because then it didn't really ruin our relationship. But she would just be honest with the relationship.
I agree. So there's like this honesty thing going on. So if you're not honest with your friend, or or you're not telling them everything, even though you usually do. Jenna, what do you think that says? How does she feel?
She feels intrigued.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. So we know that Augie and Via are very close. They have a strong bond. We know that the braid is very important to Augie, but he doesn't tell Via about it. So then she feels betrayed. So Via feels
She feels left out.
betrayed because Augie didn't tell her, did not. He was cutting his braid beforehand. I need to make sure you guys have this in your notes because it's going to help you when you do your exit ticket later. That's why I'm writing this on the board. Yeah, Brianna.
I would like to add on to work plan because me and my dad had a very close relationship, but he never told me that he moved with his other wife and
Yeah, so that would be, you would feel betrayed, or, you might feel like, whoa, what's going on here? You would be very skeptical and not understand why that person did that thing. So that's kind of what's going on here with Via and August. Yes, Moses?
I would like to build on with Brooklyn because she felt left out when August didn't talk to her.
I agree with that. So I'm going to write that down also as part of the marginal notes. So we're going to put it over here. So Via feels left out because Augie did not come to her first.